It's the Ducks and Stars from Honda Center. And time for tonight's Keys to the Game is brought to you by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. For those, we go to Ice Level and Lisa Hillary.
Thanks very much, John. Bob, November the 26th, they dominated you guys. How much stock, if at all, do you put into that hockey game?
Yeah, we definitely do. They came out in the third period down there, and they had 5 goals to blow a lead that we had. And, again, you're going to put weight in it. They're a team that scores in bunches, so when you're not sharp, they make you pay.
Thanks, Bob. Good luck.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you, Lisa. That is the only game this season in which the Ducks lost in regulation after leading following the second period of play. A 2-1 lead that ended up being a 6-3 decision in favor of the Stars. Ducks in their home blacks, Dallas in the road whites, and it's Cogliano into the Dallas zone. Fires it over top of the net. And off the mark, it'll come around the boards. Ryan Garbutt moves it into the middle. Chasen's drop pass is swatted away by the back-checking Saku Koivu.
And, John, we're seeing pretty good pressure right off the bat by the Ducks forwards. And that is something that is going to play a big role in the outcome of this one tonight. Dallas's Achilles heel, if you will. People back on the blue line.
First line change of the game, and Getzlaf threw it into the blue paint. It was kicked around by Ellis and upended Cody Eakin in the corner, and he is in trouble trying to get back to the Dallas bench.
I think he took a puck right in the face. And a little woozy as he gets back to the Dallas bench. Watch it here. Ellis shot the puck. I think it went off one of the stanchions, John, and bounced straight into the face of Cody Eakin. And, boy, the Ducks just threw it out front, Getzlaf, and it almost went in off Goligoski's rear end behind Dan Ellis. Here's Eakin.
Yeah, there you can see Eakin. And he was bleeding immediately, and he goes to the locker room just 41 seconds into the game. Lindy Ruff going with Dan Ellis in goal tonight. The first time in 10 games it was not Kari Lehtinen to get the start. Ellis last played on January the 12th. It's been nearly 3 weeks to the day. He was in goal in a loss against the New York Islanders, and Lehtinen on his way to the Olympic Games next week for Team Finland gets just his second rest in 22 games.
The crew here at Honda Center gets rid of the forensic evidence. See, Lindy Ruff, by the way, goes immediately, pulls out a little pad and starts re-diagramming his lines with Eakin in the locker room. Coaches don't know how quickly they're going to get players back or if they're going to get them at all until they get a word from the trainer. So he's got to be ready. He's got to be able to make adjustments on the fly.
He had already shaken up his lines for this game tonight as he took Eakin and gave him 2 new wingers to begin the game, saying that his top line needs some support offensively speaking. And now his new look lineup may be dead in the water, at least for the moment. We'll get word on Eakin as it becomes available.
Well, second shift of the game already for Koivu. Watch out here.
Home run pass misses Jamie Benn. And the first touch of the night for Jonas Hiller as he steers it to the corner. Tyler Sagan's pass misses Nichushkin at the far post, and the Ducks living dangerously. And here they come 2-on-1. Little trouble handling the pass for Boschman. He can't get it back in front for Daniel Winnick.
I was going to say second shift of the game already for Koivu because that's the matchup Bruce Boudreau wants. Koivu against the Sagan line.
Perry and Getzlaf joined tonight on the top line by Patrick Maroon as Dustin Penner a healthy scratch. And Maroon giving it to Perry behind the net, and it's poked off his stick as he tried to bring it to the front of the Dallas goal. Stars quickly change, and a stretch pass finds Perry. Drops it off the wall to Getzlaf behind the net. Maroon taken out and unable to play it as Trevor Daley leaned on him hard. Alex Chason battles on the far boards. Maroon and Horkoff go after it. Horkoff clears the zone, but it was intercepted by Getzlaf, who hinges it back. Pressure as Boschma sends it up the boards, and then it was Fistrick who just runs over Chason. Jakob Silverberg puts it on the backhand and deep into the Dallas zone. Silverberg back in after being a healthy scratch here Wednesday against Philly as Lovejoy in one motion puts it right on net.
Boy, Ben Lovejoy doesn't mess around. That puck comes back to the blue line, and he gets the shot released in a hurry.
Perreault looking for Solani in the neutral zone. He was bumped off the puck. Silverberg forces it back into the Dallas zone. Stars retreat. 6th in the 7-team Central Division is Dallas entering tonight's action. 11th overall in the West. And as Brian mentioned at the top of the show, 6 points outside of the playoff picture. Eric Cole busts in, gets it to the middle, and it's knocked off his stick as Lovejoy wouldn't quit on the play.
Yeah, Lovejoy got beat on the pass, made a great recovery.
David Steckel, just recalled today from Norfolk of the American League, clears the puck out of the Anaheim zone. And now it's out of the reach of Jackman, and the tie goes to the defensive team on the icing race as Jordy Ben gets the whistle.
It's been an exciting game for Ben Lovejoy already. Gets a pretty good scoring chance here. The goaltender Ellis sees it all the way, puts the rebound into the corner. And then here's the pass that springs Eric Cole. Watch the D. Now the reach backed by Ben Lovejoy makes contact with the stick of Eric Cole and strips the puck away from him.
Bolesky up the boards, hooks it off the skate of Steckel and back out center ice. Second recall of the season for David Steckel, who has appeared in 4 games previously for Anaheim. A face-off specialist, he won nearly 60% of his draws in those 4 contests. Nice outlet pass on the backhand as Koivu sends Winnick into the Dallas zone. Hands it off to Tim Jackman, who rims it around the boards. Jackman getting back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch the last 2 for Anaheim. Stars lead it in, and here's the 18-year-old Nichushkin, and he's knocked off his skates by Francois Beauchemin. Lindy Ruff told me this morning Nichushkin is way ahead of any 18-year-old he's ever seen physically in this league before. But he says from time to time he reminds me that he's still a rookie with the plays that he makes.
That is coach speak for a little inconsistency in his play. It doesn't speak the language real well, and that has got to be a huge issue for a young player coming in the league. It's hard enough to learn the systems and the structure of the National Hockey League when you have a full understanding of what the coach is saying.
Goligoski with a wrist shot that goes off the base of the dasher and hops right back over the Anaheim goal. And Getzlaf settles things down as he finds open ice to clear the zone. Goligoski sends it right back in, and here come the Stars. Late man is Trevor Daley, and he's knocked off the puck by Corey Perry. Fowler moves it ahead, and it's Perry in the middle of the ice with speed. Into the Dallas zone, fires just wide as he was decked on the play by Goligoski. And as expected, the physical play is there right from the outset. Daley's pass ahead, ricochets to Getzlaf, ducks in mid-change, so he'll hinge it back. A very quick 5 minutes gone already at Honda Center.
It's a great pace to this game. As advertised, the Stars have got a ton of speed up front. The Ducks, you can see, a little bit wary here in the early going. One of the big keys against having success against Dallas, not turning the puck over in the neutral zone, getting pucks deep, chipping pucks into the corner, forcing their defense to turn and go back for those pucks.
Jordy Ben, the older brother of the Dallas Stars captain Jamie, dumps it into the Anaheim zone. And around the board, Sean Horkoff doing battle there with Jacob Silverberg. Perreault helps out, and it comes to him. Makes a nice move in the middle of the ice and leads it ahead for Solani. Teemu hits the brakes, the trailer. Lindholm, one more pass, deflected. It's behind Ellis. Ducks thought it was in. I don't think it ever crossed the goal line.
It hit the goaltender, went up in the air, and Ellis lost sight of it. And I think one of his own defensemen might have bailed him out of trouble on that opportunity. But a good, quick counterattack from Anaheim.
Clean living for the one-time Anaheim netminder. Spent parts of 2 seasons with the Ducks. Jamie Benn moves it into the middle, and space for the Stars. Long drive off the wing, misses everything from Nichushkin. Eric Cole gets it back. Quick shot as Peverly sets him up, and that missed the mark. Sergei Gonchar, the 19-year veteran, held it in on the far side. Ducks rim it around, and Ben pressures, losing his balance as he fences with Jackman. Back come the Ducks. Bolesky's first bid is blocked, then backhands the second one just wide. Spiza has it forced out of the zone by Rich Peverly. Ducks changing. And now the Stars control back in their own zone. Gonchar moves it ahead, and Ryan Garbutt's pass ends up in the Anaheim bench. And everybody will take a moment and catch their breath. A fast start at Honda Center. No score.
Watch this rush up ice. Teemu Solani's got the puck. He gets in over the blue line. Cross-ice pass to Hampus Lindholm. Here's the redirect by Silverberg. It hits the stick of the goaltender. Gets behind him, actually. Boy, Dan Ellis, really fortunate that when this puck bounces up in the air, he has no idea where it is. It doesn't hit him in the arm or the back. If it had, it would have definitely had the momentum to carry its way all across the line.
A lot of guys wouldn't have played it that way, Brian. That's not necessarily the most orthodox save, but a save nonetheless for the 8-year veteran. In his second tour of duty now with the Dallas Stars. He beat the Ducks on November the 26th, that game in Dallas, making 28 saves. For Ellis, just his 13th appearance between the pipes this season. Lindy Ruff talking about it this morning, saying that having a veteran backup, he feels really helps because Ellis understands the role. He knows Kari Lehtman's going to get most of the reps, and he knows the importance of the game when he does get the chance to play. Good to see Dan this morning. He had some really nice things to say about Bruce Boudreau, whom he played for briefly when Boudreau took over mid-season 2 years ago here with the Ducks. Really liked him as a coach. Hiller juggles one from Garbutt off the wing, and to the rescue Corey Perry. Stood up by Goligoski in the neutral zone. Over comes Maroon to try to help out. The Ducks unable to battle it across the red line. Mark Fistrick, who began his career with the Dallas Stars, finally knocks it away from Vern Fiddler, but Goligoski covers up. Got to be a big game for Fistrick. All but one of his NHL seasons before this year were as a member of the Dallas Stars, and we got an interference penalty coming up here. I didn't see who was on the receiving end there, but I think it's Corey Perry floating it up along the near boards. He got blindsided.
It's going to be Goligoski that goes to the box for Dallas, but the puck's not even around Corey Perry anywhere.
He wasn't expecting to be hit.
Goligoski just gets a good piece of him, and then that shoulder right into the jaw of Corey Perry. And he'll collect his wits about him as he goes back to the Anaheim bench. Clearly not happy.
Goligoski's an interesting story. He'll sit for the interference minor for the Stars. Here's a guy that last season, under then head coach Glenn Gullickson, was a healthy scratch a number of times. Now he comes in tonight, Brian, leading their D, not only in scoring, but also leads the team in ice time. He's gotten a new lease on life.
Well, you know, he's the guy that Dallas paid a pretty big price to get.
James Neal.
They gave up James Neal to get him, and he was the guy that was supposed to become their anchor on the blue line and play 25 minutes on a nightly occasion.
Ducks on the power play, and Solani had Bolesky alone in front, but he couldn't squeeze the pass through. On the season, the Stars 20th in the league on the penalty kill. The Ducks at 33% now for the last dozen games. With the extra man, 16 power play goals in their last 12 games. Lindholm gets it back, moves it quickly. Solani fires wide on the short side, and it went off the top of the dasher board, not a play.
Teemu Selanne had possession of the puck at the very beginning of this power play sequence, and the Stars are way up too high. And boy, Matt Bolesky was just wide open. It was Brendan Dillon that was kind of running around and went out of his way to put a hit on Jakob Silfverberg, and by doing so, really drew himself out of position.
Minute 23 remains in the Anaheim man advantage. Getzlaf gets it across the stripe. Now without a stick is Maroon, who goes back to get it, picks up his stick, and then lays it back for Fowler. Patrick Maroon to the front of the net as the Ducks move it around the perimeter. Matthew Perreault, side of the net. Maroon, great pass. A little around the back 180 job that he missed Getzlaf with, and now the Ducks a little too fancy, and they turn it over. Trevor Daley carries as far as the blue line, and Dallas goes offside.
Anaheim under pressure by the Stars penalty killers. They move the puck down low, and it's that little backdoor pass attempted by Maroon. You can see that Daley just got to Ryan Getzlaf able to lift his stick, and then following up on that was Sean Horkoff, who was able to poke the puck away from Corey Perry. So I like those low plays. Sometimes you got to move the puck quickly down low and attack the goal crease. And if you don't, then the forwards just stay up high all the time, and then they pressure your blue line, and they take a little bit of time away from you, too far away from their own net. If they're going to be up high, move it quickly down low and attack.
Ducks are 3 of 7 on the power play in 2 games against the Stars this season. And Fowler gets the pass and gains the zone as Getzlaf and he play a little two-man game. High slot, Perreault doesn't get anything on it. Glove down by Perry. Rifles it right across the top of the crease. Maroon got a touch on it. Fowler did not hold it in, and so the Ducks will have to vacate the zone. Time and space for Brendan Dillon, and he'll take every bit of it. before icing the puck. Hiller can't get a stick on it behind the net. And the Ducks now down to 10 seconds of power play time. Ryan Getzlaf winds it up. And now just lobs it in as Cogliano races in after it. The penalty to Goligoski is over. The Stars full strength. Ducks working around the perimeter, but out of the reach of Cogliano. It comes to Goligoski as he steps out of the box, and he springs Jamie Benn. Benn picked up by Lindholm in the Anaheim zone. Centers, misses Gonchar, who was sneaking down on a little backdoor play. Cogliano picks it up and races the other way. Chips it off the boards to himself. Deep in the Dallas zone. Gonchar meets him there, but he finds Winnick. Back in front, and Cogliano sent it just wide.
A real nice pass by Daniel Winnick. Aerial pass over the stick of Sergei Gonchar.
Gonchar, now falling down defensively as Lindholm, and Nichushkin gets an assist from the linesman there. As Lindholm ran into the linesman on the far side there. That's Mark Wheeler. Excuse me, it's Pierre Rasico that he collided with. And it very nearly turned into a breakaway scoring opportunity. Stars are offside. No, they're not offside. Tyler Seguin was well ahead of the play, but play goes on. And now it's in the netting above the glass in the corner. And we'll take a break. 8:49 to go in a scoreless opening period.
And when you got the kind of speed Andrew Cogliano has, the give and goal play is a very effective tactic. A chip around the boards essentially to himself, chips it behind the net, but then it's the give and go. He gives it up. Winnick gets it back to him. Sergei Gonchar does a nice job of getting that stick. See how he extends that stick into the hands of Cogliano. Here was the play where the pick on Hampus Lindholm almost led to a great scoring chance for Valeri Nichushkin.
I guess it's no better time to tell you that Pierre Rasico and Mark Wheeler are the linesmen for tonight's game. The referees are Kelly Sutherland and Kyle Raymond. But even strength hockey all the way. 8.5 to go in the opening period. No score between Dallas and Anaheim. Glad to have you along on a Saturday night. This building has not seen that many Saturday night home games over the years, particularly in regular season play. I think this one tonight just the second of the season for Anaheim.
Yeah, good job by Steckel on the forecheck there. He uses that long reach of his, and you can see the pressure here from the Ducks on this Dallas defense.
Solani very nearly poaches a pass across ice, and Ray Whitney tips it into the Anaheim zone as Dallas just moves the puck territorially, enabling them to make a line change. Perreault circles back. Matthew Perreault with points in each of his last 2 games, 9 points in his last 10 coming into tonight. And he waits for Lindholm to wrap it around the boards and in. Jamie Benn is there to get it. Or excuse me, Jordy Benn. And the Stars into the Anaheim zone. Cole's shot is in the glove of Jonas Hiller. Well, the Ducks did it last game. In fact, they did it. Score 5 goals, that is, for the 16th time this season. And when that happens, Hooters gives you 5 free wings. You can print the coupon, and from there you'll have 24 hours to head to any Hooters in Southern California.
Here's that last stop by Jonas Hiller. You can see that Eric Cole trying to use Francois Beauchemin as the screen. No problem for Hiller on that. You know, the Dallas Stars have not won a road game since December the 23rd against the Kings. It's been a while for them. They've gone 0-4-1 since that victory over LA. And, you know, that has been talked about an awful lot inside their locker room. If they're going to get into this playoff race, they got to start doing better on the road.
And they're 1 game under 500 away from American Airlines Center. 11, 12, and 3 entering tonight's action. And just 3 games over 500 overall. Kevin Connaughton gains the Anaheim line. He had been a healthy scratch the last 5 games and 6 of the last 7. The former Western Michigan University Bronco draws back into the lineup at the expense of one-time Duck Aaron Rome tonight, as Connaughton is paired with Sergei Gonchar, and he's back to get it in his own zone. His pass picked off by Getzlaf. He'll send Perry in. On his off wing, back to the middle for Getzlaf. Oh, and rolled off his stick to Maroon, and he couldn't connect. Back to the line. Beauchemin winds, fires through traffic. Friendly fire. That one hit Maroon, who was screening Ellis. Was recovered momentarily by Getzlaf, but pitched back, and this will be an icing call against the Stars.
This 4th line of the Dallas Stars trapped on the ice for a favorable matchup here for the Ducks, and they're going to keep the big line out there. Here's the opportunity Getzlaf being checked from behind. You can see that he just loses the handle. It was Vern Fiddler able to get a stick on Getzlaf, and then Pat Maroon kind of whips on it. A little bit quick with the hands by Patrick Maroon that time.
Well, the Stars are fourth in the league in giveaways, and that whole exchange began when Connaughton, the first-year man, is 23 years of age, had his pass picked off in the neutral zone. Getzlaf quickly setting up Perry, and Ellis with his best stop of the hockey game. A big line, getting the cycle going down low, and now Maroon and Perry pursuing Trevor Daley. Vern Fiddler trying to protect the puck until he can get to the red line. Does, gets it deep. So the Stars able to change. And Getzlaf's outlet pass broken up by Jamie Benn. Benn looks in front, takes the shot, and hugging the near side post and making the stop was Jonas Hiller. To the line, it's forced out, and Perry and Goligoski again come together in the neutral zone as they battle for the puck along the near wall. I don't know how much Perry's paying attention to the puck right now. He and Goligoski have to be separated as play goes on. The linesman steps in, and Cole back in the Dallas zone after. Pokes it ahead, and Perry plays it as he was going to the bench for a change. Very nearly too many men.
I'll say this about Goligoski, John. This is as aggressive a game as we have seen from him in a long, long time.
The hitting continuing to pick up as Jamie Benn just misses, pulling it into the middle, trying to use Lovejoy as a screen.
Boy, he's got some skills. He just has the ability to get shots through. You don't think he's got any kind of a shooting lane available, and he finds a way.
Already a 20-goal campaign for Jamie Benn. He came into tonight with 21 goals. And that is already the fourth time in his 5-year NHL career that he has achieved the 20-goal plateau. The only time he didn't, the shortened season last year. No icing. They're going to rule this deflected off a Dallas player, so a foot race, and Connaughton wins it. He reverses the puck. And again, forechecking pressure coming from Jakob Silfverberg. And Silfverberg hounding the puck as the Stars force it to center. Tyler Seguin, leading scorer for the Stars, hoists it in, and pressure on Spiza as he went back after it. Solani pulls it into the middle, and then Lease clears the zone. Now pressures the puck. Oh, and Gonchar just able to knife it away from him.
They've been close a few times, haven't they?
Here's Seguin, waiting for reinforcements. Cross ice for Cole coming late, and it's swatted off his stick by Silfverberg. Nice play by Jakob, who uses the boards to clear. Stars changing, so they couldn't play that puck. And now Jordy Benn, gets away with it as he takes his man into the corner without playing the puck. That was Solani. Dillon leads it ahead. Chasen puts it in behind the Anaheim goal. The former Boston University Terrier now pursues it on the near side with Eric Cole. From his knees, Winnick chops it around, but Dillon steps up. Winnick wins the battle down low, couldn't bank it away from Cole. Gives it to Chasen, his backhand pass in front off the stick of Hiller, and right back to Winnick, who throws it to the corner glass and angled out of the zone wisely by Koivu. No icing, but the Ducks get changes.
Yeah, Jakob Silfverberg has impressed, John, in the opening period tonight. He's been very, very close to stripping a few pucks away from this Dallas defense. Reinserted into the lineup, and we talked a lot about the lineup depth of the Ducks.
Fiddler pounces on a rolling puck and sends it wide. Roussel keeps it in for Fiddler down low, spins it back to Garbutt, and his backhand bid is in the netting above the high glass, deflected away off an Anaheim stick. Plenty of chances, plenty of contact, no goal.
We expected that this would be a rough physical game, and Goligoski gives Perry a little cross-check. Corey Perry gives him a little bit of work himself, and then they exchange some words. Corey Perry says, "Would you like to go?" I'm not sure what Goligoski said, but it didn't appear that he wanted to go.
Well, he has his back to you. How could you?
There's Teemu Selanne. That should have been a penalty against Jordy Benn for interference, and Teemu had a brief discussion with the referee during the television timeout.
Jamie Benn wins the draw, and Seguin gets it on net right away. Hiller will hold on as we remind you to stay with us later on in the broadcast. We will bring you Miller Time, as brought to you by our friends at Miller Lite, as we revisit a key moment in tonight's hockey game. Jamie Benn plays the wing on this top line for Lindy Ruff, but he still takes a lot of draws, and he's good at it. He won that last one cleanly, and he wins this one. Still a 56% proposition on the dot is Jamie Benn, who a couple of years ago the Stars tried at center. Such a dynamic player, as you mentioned, Brian. They wanted to bring all his skills and skill set into play, but they put him back on the wing now that they have Tyler Seguin.
I'm pretty sure you're going to see Jamie Benn patrolling the left wing with Mr. Getzlaf and Mr. Perry at the upcoming Olympic Games for Team Canada. We're speaking with Stars general manager Jim Nill, and he's had lots of conversations with the general manager of the Canadian Olympic team, Steve Yzerman.
And the two of them worked together for so many years as members of the front office of the Detroit Red Wings as well. Certainly he would have some insight.
One of the things the Stars have been talking about in regards to the Ducks is just how they're set up defensively. The speed with which their defense plays the game makes it difficult to forecheck an Anaheim team when you've got the likes of Lovejoy and Fowler, Spiza, Lindholm going back to collect loose pucks in the defensive zone.
You know, we discussed those who might have some insight as to those line combinations for Team Canada. There's a guy, Lindy Ruff, who certainly will have some insight and definitely some input. He is one of the assistant coaches for Mike Babcock at the upcoming Winter Games in Sochi.
Thinking about it, you know, Jamie Benn is a similar player to both Getzlaf and Perry in that, you know, not only is he extremely talented and a great goal scorer and playmaker, he's a guy that protects himself, much like Getzlaf and Perry do.
Well, Getzlaf and Perry last time, 4 years ago in Vancouver, found themselves paired with a then Dallas Star on their line, as it was Brendan Morrow who spent the most time on the left wing of the two Ducks. Now Cole digs one out. Peverley has it knocked off his stick, but it's recovered on the near side by Alex Chiasson. Maroon finally battles it out, and Perry throws it cross ice. A rolling puck Trevor Daley got a stick on. And the Ducks look to be offside, and indeed they are offside there with just over a minute and a half to go. Well, another milestone tonight for Teemu Selanne as he passes Scott Mellanby on the all-time games played list, moving into the top 25 in the league, tying Mike Gartner. This is 1,432nd career game played. He is now tied with Gartner for 24th on the all-time list and just 1 point shy of 1,450.
It's one thing to have played that many games. It's a whole other thing to have averaged more than a point a game over that time span. Just incredible.
Selanne nearly a point a game in his last 10 coming into tonight. Has 8 points in his last 10 games.
When you think about it, John, that how few players in any one season actually score just 82 points.
Right.
And to do it on average over the course of an entire career, the length of Teemu Selanne's is amazing. Just amazing.
This is his 21st season. And about a week shy of his 6th Winter Olympic Games as well. And we were talking the other day about it. He probably should have played in a 7th back in '94, his first year playing in the National Hockey League. At that time, they didn't allow NHL professional players to play in the Olympic Games. He had played 2 years before in '92. Since then, obviously, the International Ice Hockey Federation changed that stance. And in another week, it'll be his 6th Winter Olympic Games.
Ties the record for the men's ice hockey portion of the tournament. 6
already the
Olympic
all-time
games.
Leading scorer in Olympic hockey history as well.
You know, we were talking about it the other day, and you know, the IIHF rankings going into the Olympic tournament are based primarily on World Championship performance. Now Ben Lovejoy is going to get a penalty for interference. So how this is different from Jordy Ben not getting a penalty is very confusing to me, and I'm sure to the Ducks. Is it interference? Yes. When a player chips the puck past a defenseman and there is separation between them, in other words, there's not contact almost immediately, he is susceptible being called for interference. So you see the separation, and I think as well, because it is Jamie Benn that Lovejoy takes out, that also probably factors into the referee's decision. It's the right call. It just hasn't been doled out equitably so far in this game.
The Stars failed to score on the power play 2 nights ago at home against New Jersey. That was the first time in 9 games that they didn't get a power play goal. And now they turn it over here and shorthanded. Getzlaf fires it high. This is the first power play chance of the night for the Stars. They are 1 for 7 against Anaheim this season. And as I mentioned, hot in their last 9 games, 32%. Goligoski wires it across. The return pass broken up by Getzlaf. He's going to force Goligoski to come over. He's at the end of a shift, so shorthanded, he'll just get it deep and then bump with Goligoski in behind the Dallas goal. Final 15 seconds of the opening period, and he's just trying to work the rest of the clock in the Dallas zone. Instead, it's stretched ahead. Tyler Seguin hits the brakes. Leading scorer for Dallas on the power play this season. He sets up on the half wall. Moves it across, and Hiller gets across to make a great save on Goligoski as the horn sounds.
It's a great stop by Hiller. It is not a good read by the penalty killers out there for Anaheim. Lucas Pisa has got to recognize that there's no one around the front of the net, and he's got to step forward into that passing lane. That's a good stop by Jonas Hiller. Great read. See what he did there? He stayed deep in the crease. That allows him to move laterally a little bit quicker, get across to protect the short side goalpost. So big save by Hiller late keeps this game scoreless after 1.
The Anaheim netminder called upon to make only 6 saves in that opening period, but perhaps his finest with about 1 second to go on the clock. And that keeps us where we began. No score after 1 at Honda Center. No score between the Stars and Ducks after 1 period of play. John and Brian back with you in the broadcast booth, high above center ice here at Honda Center. A period where both teams got power play opportunities. The Stars are going to carry theirs over to begin the second period of play, despite the fact that it was physical, just the 2 power plays.
You know, I thought both teams would say that they played a great defensive period because the scoring opportunities were not plentiful, that's for sure. But the bumps certainly were. Mark Fistrick would step up. That was on Chason. Real good hit by him. And then you saw Corey Perry catch a piece of Trevor Daley. Jakob Silfverberg inserted back into the lineup. He's been sensational. I thought he was Anaheim's best player in the opening 20 minutes. He almost beats Dan Ellis. Ellis a little bit fortunate as he lost sight of that puck. And then Patrick Maroon would like to have this one back. Point blank, he just kind of whips on an opportunity to elevate that puck. Goligoski and Perry, you get the feeling that those two gentlemen don't really like one another. And you know, it was at the end of the period, while the Stars were on the power play, Alex Goligoski would rip one. That was a great stop by Jonas Hiller late. Remember, Dallas will start this second period with the man advantage power plays. Anaheim 0 for 1. They didn't get much accomplished on the power play. Look at the hits, 14-14. To me, that really summed up the opening period tonight. It was physical. Nobody passed up an opportunity to lay the body on, and the Stars, for both clubs, were held in check. 1:03 of power play time remains for Dallas when the second period commences. For more, we go to the Anaheim bench. Standing by is Lisa Hillary.
You open the period shorthanded, Brad. What are you hoping to see here out of your PK in the first minute?
Well, we need to kill it off. That's the biggest thing right now. I thought we had a really good first period. It's a very fast game. The big thing is we can't have turnovers. They do a really good job on transition. We've got to start with a good kill, though.
Thanks, Brad. John?
Thank you, Lisa. Just about set to go to begin the second period of play. You see Ben Lovejoy sitting. Still 63 seconds left to serve in his minor penalty. 9 saves for Jonas Hiller in the opening period. Hiller's last appearance was the loss here on Tuesday against the Minnesota Wild, a game in which he played well. Made 29 saves, a 4-2 loss. For the Stars, this is the first of 3 straight on the road, as they will be in Phoenix on Tuesday to take on the Coyotes. It is a dad's trip for them. The fathers are going to meet them in Phoenix. They got a couple of days off before they play that next game, and then they'll finish up in San Jose. Genie then to take the draw to begin the period against Getzlaf, who stumbles as he tries to poke it ahead, and now the Stars regroup back in their own zone. Tyler Seguin through the middle of the ice. Gains the line. Now it's Chason at the right point, and the return pass will come to the stripe, and a good job to keep it in there by Alex Goligoski behind the net. Beauchemin breaks it up and finds the open man. Time and space for Fowler. He'll ice the puck.
Yeah, great communication again between Cam Fowler and Francois Beauchemin. Both are talkers on the ice. Cam Fowler, by the way, was not in his younger days with the Ducks, but he has developed that skill.
Ben off the wing misses everything, but it's as much a pass as anything to Eric Cole, who digs it off the wall and fires just wide. It'll come around and out down to 10 seconds left in the penalty to Lovejoy. Pressure from Cogliano. And Goligoski's pass ends up in the Anaheim bench. Now just 8 seconds left in the Dallas power play.
We were talking to Bruce Boudreau earlier today about the play of Francois Beauchemin last game. I asked him if he thought it was Francois' best game of the season. He said, I don't think there was any question about it. It looks to me, John, that remember he had that ACL off-season surgery. Most players will tell you it takes some time for the nerves in your leg to start responding the way that you expect them to, but the jump is back in the step. He's playing much more physically now than he was at the beginning of the year, and as a result, I think he's a much more effective player.
Brian, you mentioned no Cam Fowler, usually penalty killing for the Ducks in his earlier years. Part of the reason he's out there as much tonight as anything, the fact that Anaheim doesn't have Mark Fistrick. They haven't had him since late in the first period. The penalty is now over as Lovejoy's out of the box. We don't have a report as yet, and we don't see him on the Anaheim bench.
Well, 2 players have left the ice in this game. Dallas Eakin has come back for the Dallas Stars. He got a bunch of stitches put in. He's back ready to play, but Bruce Boudreau looks like he will be down to 5 defensemen. We don't have a report yet. We don't know if he's expected back. And we, of course, will keep you up to date as soon as we get that information.
Brian, Cody Eakin out to take the draw here for Dallas, so there's one of the answers. Remember, he took that puck in the face in the first period and left the ice bleeding in the early going.
I should correct myself. I called him Dallas Eakin instead of Cody.
You've already moved him on to his next career. He's a coach now.
Is that a promotion?
I think you'd have to ask Cody. He won that draw on the one-time shot, missing everything from the line, but the Ducks go for the home run and miss. So icing is the call, and the face-off will come back. So both teams 0 for 1 now on the power play in this hockey game.
John, you mentioned Patrick Maroon patrolling the left wing on the Getzlaf-Perry line tonight. They only generated, as a trio in the opening period, 1 shot on goal. And there's pressure. When you get onto the same line as Getzlaf and Perry, there is an expectation that you're going to produce offense. And Bruce Boudreau is a guy that will wait, but he won't wait forever in order for that offense to come to the forefront. So they don't get much accomplished here in the opening half of this second period. Don't be surprised if he starts to juggle the lines once again.
Rich Peverly, second in the league in face-off winning percentage, takes that draw for Dallas. He only took 1 face-off in the opening period, and he's played most of the season on the wing. He got moved to the middle tonight by Lindy Ruff. Interesting development. We'll see how that goes. Now that Eakin's back, they may not even need Peverly to take that many draws. Getzlaf gains the line and finds Maroon down low. Doesn't field it cleanly, and then has it knocked off his stick. 2 minutes into the second period, no score between the Stars and Ducks. Third and final meeting of the season as Hiller catches that puck that's lobbed in. The Stars go for changes, which enables him to move the puck, and play goes on.
So with no Fistrick, you see the changes in the line or defensive line combinations for the Ducks. Here, Lindholm and Fowler being paired together. We've seen this at other times over the course of the regular season, but really Boudreau being forced into making this change so far tonight.
Join the Ducks home ice advantage this coming Monday. It's February the 3rd. They'll host the Columbus Blue Jackets. You can buy 1 ticket and get 1 half off in select seating areas now by using the promo code BOGO50. Visit AnaheimDucks.com now. Face-off in the Dallas zone off the icing call against the Stars, and it's curled into the middle by Jamie Benn. Nichushkin trying to saucer it ahead, but it was batted down at the line, and now a transition play as Winnick drives into the Dallas zone, finds the trailer Fowler, and he gets it down low for Koivu. Koivu wins the battle with Gonchar. Now Fowler gets it out, high slot, knocked off his stick, then he's tripped up and can't keep possession. Nichushkin sends it ahead, and it's Benn quickly with Tyler Seguin. Seguin looking across for Gonchar, the defenseman coming late, but it was out of his reach. Lovejoy fumbles it as he gets to it on the far boards, but he gets support, and Winnick moves it into the middle. The Ducks will get changes as Cogliano feathers it deep into the zone, and Gonchar back after it. Good read by Solani, but his stick was taken away at the last moment there by Alex Chiasson. Perreault bats down a clearing attempt. Ooh, they're going to rule that was with a high stick.
John, I want to point out the defensive instincts of Andrew Cogliano. Here he is at the top of your screen. Cam Fowler is going to lose an edge, fall down. Look how quickly the transition is made by Cogliano, converting from offense to defense. He's back in perfect position. He's very aware where Jamie Benn is on the ice.
Face off in the neutral zone, controlled by the Stars. And a rolling puck off the stick of Boschema at the blue line as Anaheim's not giving up the blue line at all. And now Dallas forced to dump it in. Don't think that's what they wanted to do. Alex Chiasson denies around the near side. And now battles in the corner with Hampus Lindholm. Chiasson gets it back from Ray Whitney, but converged upon by a pair of Duck defenders. Solani ends up with the puck. He had help from Silverberg. Now Silverberg able to work the puck out of the zone as he battled with Ray Whitney. Lindholm lowers the shoulder, moves the puck ahead. Silverberg drops it at the line, gets it back from Solani, comes in, glove save, Dan Ellis.
Great stop and a real nice play on the quick counterattack by the Ducks. Teemu Solani was quick at the offensive blue line to jump on a loose puck right here. And then watch that, boy, that's a nifty little backhand pass to Jakob Silverberg. Silverberg would probably tell you he did not elevate that puck the way that he was hoping to. Ends up shooting it right into the glove of Dan Ellis. You see the puck was only about 1.5 feet off the ice. Needed to be about 6 inches higher.
David Steckel was 3 for 3 in the face-off circle in the opening period, but he's unable to win that draw, and now the shot by Jackman is deflected over the glass and out of play.
John, I mentioned that Jakob Silverberg back in the lineup tonight. Tim Jackman also draws back in, and I was asking Bruce about Jackman specifically, and I said, it looks to me like you're really gaining trust in a player that has joined the team midway through the season. He said, I no question of faith that Jackman is going to be making the safe plays. There's the one thing that we have learned about him is, boy, he finishes his checks so well. He makes opposing defensemen pay a price.
32-year-old Jackman now in his 10th NHL season with his 6th different team. Spiza loses the handle for a moment, and Lovejoy moves it quickly. Bolesky into the Dallas zone, and his long shot is held by Dan Ellis. And some post-whistle pleasantries as Fiddler having to be separated from Bolesky. Remember when Perry and Goligoski got into it in the first period? Bolesky came in at the end and appeared to be ready to be the police if necessary, and he hasn't lost that attitude here in the second period.
Well, you know, I think this has a lot to do. Watch the left side of your screen right there. A little shot by Bolesky, Goligoski, but the good news, Vern Fiddler, I'll call it an overacting job, trying to draw the call against Matt Bolesky. But there's some history between these two teams already this season, John. The games, at times, both clubs could be accused of stepping over the line a little bit.
Puck off a Dallas stick as it was swept deep, so Ellis forced to play it. Dan Ellis plays the puck very well. We've talked a lot about Frederik Andersen and his abilities. And here's Eakin right in on the doorstep. Rebound, score as Daly, the late man, gets the loose change.
An Anaheim defender got caught up ice. Cam Fowler went for the pinch, and the puck was chipped in behind him. And then Patrick Maroon was left with Cody Eakin in the neutral zone right here, and the foot race was won by Eakin. He gets a shoulder inside of Maroon, tucks it around him. Hiller makes the first stop, but then the Ducks just got beat down the ice. That's a Dallas defenseman, Trevor Daly, who outraces the Anaheim forwards to join the attack, and he cashes in the rebound. That's a big goal for the Stars, and one that I don't think is going to make Bruce Boudreau very happy.
So for Daly, his 4th of the season is the first of the game here tonight. He led the Dallas Blue Liners in goal scoring a season ago. 10th-year man who spent his entire NHL career with the Dallas Stars. And it's 1-0 Stars. Cogliano into the middle, and Koivu has it chopped away by Sagan. Brendan Dillon comes up with it, moves it up the boards, and Jamie Benn gets a touch clearing the zone. Well, the Stars out shooting the Ducks 11-8 in this game, and they now have the lead 1-0. Fowler forced to lay it back for Lovejoy. And his pass off the mark intended for Koivu, so icing is the call.
I gotta believe that every time the Dallas Stars play the Ducks, they look at Cam Fowler and they cringe a little bit. You know, Fowler was the guy that they passed on in the draft to take the goaltender, Jack Johnson, who at this point does not look like he's going to break into the NHL and become a significant player anytime soon. Fowler, well, he's already there. And if you look at the Stars and you think about them, boy, would they love to have a fast-skating, puck-moving defenseman with the kind of skill that Cam Fowler has in the lineup.
Now, remember when these teams played here back in October, Campbell was in net for the Stars. That is still to this moment his only NHL appearance. And he gave up 6 goals in that 6-3 Ducks win, as he remains with the Texas Stars of the American Hockey League. Koivu intercepts a centering pass. Report out of the Anaheim locker room is for Mark Fistrick, it's a lower body injury, and he is questionable to return. So Bruce Boudreau may only have these 5 defensemen for the rest of the night here at Honda Center. 13:35 to go, second period, 1-0 Stars. Koivu breaks up a cross-ice pass, but Antoine Roussel recovers. Roussel busts into the Anaheim zone, and a diving effort by Fowler gets a stick on his bid. And now Perreault puts the forechecking pressure back on in the Dallas zone.
The passing from Anaheim defense to their forwards has not been good in this period. And it's created issues as a result. Dallas has got the puck. They're on the attack. Anaheim spending an awful lot of time defending here.
Penalty coming up to Lucas Spiza. And Anaheim down a goal, will be down a man when we come back, as the Stars will look to double their lead with their second power play chance of the night. There's the hook by Spiza on Peverley. Wow.
Lucas Spiza has taken some minor penalties since his return to the lineup, and this one is going to be called a hold. It's marginal. Peverley keeps the legs moving, as soon as he felt the pressure from the right hand of Spiza. The referee said, no, you take your hand off your stick, you put yourself in jeopardy of being called for that play. It's a marginal call. And all of a sudden, a big moment in this hockey game with Dallas with a 1-0 lead and a fresh power play opportunity.
6:58 of the second time of the penalty, and Chasen takes the ball, and the Stars control. Goligoski hands it off. Jamie Benn steps to the middle and then works it to the goal line. Trades places with Eric Cole. Benn tries to stuff it in. Oh, chipped it over top of the goal. Boy, everybody met at the blue paint, and now Getzlaf racing to the loose puck and has it taken away by Eric Cole.
See, the difference there is that Cole keeps both hands on his stick as he's chasing after Getzlaf. And so there's no possibility at that point of a call being made against him.
Well, that's twice Getzlaf's had possession of the puck. The Ducks don't get it out, and Goligoski's shot tipped just wide. And Alex Chasen has been a very good power play player for the Stars this season, and he got a piece on that bit.
He just goes to the net. I mean, every team needs that front net presence. Almost every power play now, when they get possession established in the offensive zone, sets up the same way. That 1-3-1 with one guy standing in front of the goaltender.
Nice entry by the Stars there as Whitney gave it up, got it back, and now they're set up. 50 seconds left in the power play. Gonchar's shot, friendly fire. Hit a Stars player in front, came right to Whitney though. Pounced on by Sean Horkoff. Longtime Edmonton Oiler Horkoff getting duty on this second power play, and now a clearing pass comes to Cogliano. Boschnick joins the rush as the Ducks go 3 deep into the zone, and then Cogliano rags it back for Lovejoy, who will lob it the length of the ice. Good job by the Anaheim penalty killers, not only to kill time, but they get a change. Seguin up the middle, splits the D. He's in, goes backhand, he missed the mark. Fowler may have gotten a piece of his stick on the back check. Forced him to the backhand, though. Whitney now off the half wall with 10 seconds left in the power play. Gets it back from Gonchar. Cross-ice pass, off the mark, taken off the boards by Seguin. And Fowler engages him, knocks it loose behind the net. Lindholm skates after it. The penalty is over. Out of the box, Spiza, the Ducks full strength.
Anaheim makes a huge sigh of relief, John, with a Seguin breakaway chance that he can't convert on.
He's got it again in the Anaheim zone, though. Tyler Seguin's back pass intercepted in the slot by Corey Perry. Weaves his way to the left wing. Gets it to the blue line, throws it in, and Ellis more than happy to come out and play it. Nichushkin moves it ahead off the stick of Ben, but he gets it back and lifts it in. And Hiller out to play, and he did himself a favor in doing so. Spiza can't clear it past Nichushkin, but it's knocked away by Getzlaf, and back he comes with Perry 2-on-2. They crisscross at the stripe. And then it's knocked away by Roussel. Good recovery as Getzlaf stays with it. Maroon scales it up the glass in deep. Perry behind the net and has his stick lifted by Trevor Daley. Good play by Daley there, and again it's Nichushkin off to the races.
Yeah, he's been good in this game, Trevor Daley. A lot of leverage there on Corey Perry to force that turnover.
Well, the youngster Nichushkin, just 18 years of age, and he'll represent the home country at the upcoming Olympics. Nice little redirect, and Hiller with a good stop there to keep the Ducks within a goal. Tyler Seguin splits the D on the Dallas power play, but he fails to convert.
Welcome back to Honda Center. Dallas Stars up 1-0. Jacob, give me a sense of what the level of coverage has to be on a guy like Jamie Benn here tonight.
I mean, hey, obviously he's a very skilled player. We got to know when he's on the ice. I mean, we got to play above him at all times and play hard on him. So just having an extra eye on him for sure.
Thanks, Jacob. Good luck.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you, Lisa. The Ducks have done a nice job so far. Ben came into the game riding a 5-game scoring streak, and Tyler Seguin had points in 4 straight games as well. They've at least kept him off the score sheet so far, but at times they've been dangerous. Here's Eakin keeping a puck in at the line, and he flips it towards the net. Jordy Benn, the defenseman, was in deep on the play, but couldn't connect on the pass. Cole was covering his point, got a bump on Silverberg, and it's right back into the Anaheim zone as Eakin's pass is off a stick and out of play.
Right now, the quicker team on the puck is the Dallas Stars in this second period. And they've had some pretty good scoring chances here. That was a good stop moments ago by Jonas Hiller. And Anaheim has got to pick it up. And I really believe it starts with that first outlet pass from defense to forward. It just hasn't been crisp this year, or excuse me, this period. And as a result, Anaheim doesn't have a lot of speed. They don't have a lot of speed on the attack through the neutral zone.
The Stars have the only goal of the game. It came here in the second. They've outchanced the Ducks 5-1 in this middle period that is now 11 minutes old. David Steckel hands it back. Spiza for the Ducks, stretches it, and Maroon across the line. Now it's Maroon, Steckel, and Jackman for Anaheim, and the Stars throw it away up the middle. Lovejoy held it in. Spiza gets it down low. Maroon sends it around, and Lovejoy activates below the hash mark to keep it alive. Stars muscle it back out center ice. Spiza unable to get it in. Maroon knocks it away from Chasen and leads a 3-man rush the other way for Steckel off the wing, and a blocker saved by Ellis. Jackman battling at the side of the net. So is Maroon, who's knocked to his knees. Steckel keeps it alive, if only for a moment, as Whitney throws it cross ice. And able to alleviate the pressure is Sergei Gonchar, who angles it in. Gonchar now with his 5th NHL team.
Johnny, adjustment here from Boudreau with Matt Molesky now out on the left wing with Getzlaf and Perry.
Owen Fowler mishandling the puck in the neutral zone and still able to recover as Ben pressured him. Getzlaf drops back to help out. Now Fowler in full flight and keeps it alive long enough. Getzlaf's pass picked off in the middle of the ice. Seguin, he's looked good in this game tonight. Across the line, gets it back to the net, and a stick save by Hiller on a slow rolling puck. He put it in behind the net. The Stars get it back. Dillon for Seguin down low. Not to one knee. Tyler Seguin plays on. Fowler contests. Nichushkin digs it out. Bad angle shot and a save made by Hiller. Penalty coming up to the Ducks here. And Dallas about to go on the power play for the 3rd time tonight.
It's going to be a hooking penalty against Corey Perry, and no argument from the Ducks number 10. Let's see if we can pick it up. Loses control, and then there's a little tug onto the hands of Nichushkin. Yeah, once the stick gets past parallel, and especially once it gets into the hands, that's going to be called when you are in the defensive zone. So Corey Perry sits, and this is about, again, the quickness, moving their feet. The Stars are a little bit quicker than Anaheim has been in this period.
They're 0 for 2 on the power plays. Gonchar gets one through, and a needy rebound that Cogliano battles to the boards, and then a swing and a miss by Koivu fails to clear the zone. Orkoff beats Spiza to the puck, works it around the perimeter, and Cody Eakin has it knocked loose. Koivu battles it ahead, kicked up by Cogliano, shorthanded. One-on-one with Gonchar, drops it back for Koivu, and good defensive back-checking by the Stars, but a little rebound off of Ellis, and Cogliano comes up with it.
Yeah, great play by Cogliano, and then, boy, is he quick. Talking about speed, doesn't apply to Cogliano. He's been bringing it.
Stars bring it back. Over a minute of power play time remains as Whitney drops it off. And Eakin knocked off the puck by Daniel Winnick. Dug free, though. The Stars fail to keep it in, and now Anaheim 3 abreast shorthanded the other way. Fowler thinks better of going in deep as he retreats defensively.
Wiseman having a tough time getting out of the way of plays in the neutral zone tonight.
Ben angles it off the wall. Sagan trying to stay onside, loses an edge. And through the middle of the ice, Winnick went after it, but he just lets the pass go through. Another change for the Ducks on the penalty kill. Turned over by the Stars. Getzlaf doesn't have any passing options. He just swipes it below the goal line. Down to half a minute now to go on the penalty to Perry. Gloved down by Spiza into the neutral zone, so as the Ducks play it next, that brings a whistle.
That's the correct call.
It is.
I mean, Lucas Spiza's inside his own blue line. You can't knock it to a player into the neutral zone and not have play be called dead. So too bad, because after this turnover, Spiza hadn't been able to touch that puck. Silverberg was in alone in behind Tyler Seguin. So close, but the correct call by the officials.
If he had been able to knock it down from inside the blue line and kept it in the defensive zone, then it would have been a legal pass as well. So it was, either way, it was inches away from being a legal play, but no doubt the right call. So now down to 20 seconds left in the penalty to Perry. And the puck up the wall, held in. Goligoski lets it go, and that's off the leg of Winnick to the corner. Excuse me, it was David Steckel getting some penalty killing time out there, no doubt because of his face-off acumen. Spiza blocks a shot on the pass back. Misses Goligoski. Perry races after it. He's got help. In comes Silverberg. Perry takes the shot. Ellis makes the save. Steckel can't convert the rebound.
Corey Perry had a full head of steam. Puck turned over. He was in alone. That was a nice stop by Dan Ellis. We'll rack this up as a real patient save by the Stars netminder.
Under 5 to play second period, and Perry takes it away from Dillon. In front for Maroon. It comes right to Getzlaf. Blocked. Stretched quickly back the other way for Roussel. Crisscrosses with Fiddler and then loses the puck to the back checking Maroon. Boy, it's fire wagon hockey out there right now. Up and down they go. And despite the score being 1-0, these teams are taking chances and trading chances.
Yeah, it's frantic pace right now.
Getzlaf's attempted pass into the middle goes astray. And now Beauchemin hooks it back off the mark for Lindholm. Pressured by Garbutt. He'll reverse it. Francois Beauchemin looks over his shoulder, sees Eakin coming, so he bounces it back to center ice. Trevor Daley, who has the game's only goal, sends it back in off of Beauchemin. Cutting in, Eric Cole on a bad angle off the backhand, and that was juggled away and batted into the slot momentarily. Held in. Dillon's shot comes off the boards. Near side, Peverley can't convert.
I don't know if the goaltender Hiller gets a leg on that shot. If he does, it's an amazing stop.
I think he did. Puck out of play. Still somehow just 1-0.
All of a sudden, the goaltenders take control of this hockey game. Turnover by the Stars. Perry had just jumped out of the penalty box. He's in all alone, and Dan Ellis just plays that beautifully. The positioning was perfect. He took away the 5-hole. And then Ryan Getzlaf point blank. That was Corey Dillon, actually, who got into the shooting lane. Here's the last save. This is the best of them all. Jonas Hiller, boy, Peverley thought he had a wide open net. Hiller scrambles across and makes a great left pad save.
13 saves for Dan Ellis to this point, 18 at the other end for Jonas Hiller. The one-time teammates going head-to-head here tonight. It's the third and final meeting of the season for the Ducks with the Stars, and Brian, they have not seen Kari Lehtinen in a game yet this season, which is kind of interesting when you consider coming into tonight, Lehtinen has appeared in 45 of their 54 games. Jack Campbell got the call the first time these teams met, and it's been Ellis the other two. 1-0, the Stars have the lead as a cross-ice pass. Oh, got through Fowler, and here's Nichushkin, and picked up nicely by Lovejoy, who hinged over.
What a great play. Great instinct shown by Lovejoy. He bails out his defense partner.
Winnick brings it through the middle as Cogliano goes to the net for a rebound, and Ellis is able to cover. He spit it out to the top of the crease, but I believe Cogliano got his stick caught on a defender's skate and couldn't get to it.
Well, you put the puck on the net, and especially when you put it into the goaltender's feet, you can create rebounds. And that's what Daniel Winnick did. Cogliano was there, was actually Goligoski that blocked him out on the play. Here's the play by Ben Lovejoy. Lead with the stick. Boy, for any young defenseman who's watching tonight's game, in the defensive zone, use your reach, use the length of your hockey stick to really close quicker than attacking players think you can possibly close on them. That's what Lovejoy was able to do. It really fooled Nichushkin.
Solani engaging Goligoski in the corner. Perreault, after a loose puck, puts it right back. Silverberg digging for it. Gets it from Perreault, held at the line, and no, it was not by Lindholm. So offside is the call. You could win a 2014 Honda Odyssey this season coming up at Fan Appreciation Night here at Honda Center. All you have to do to enter to win is to log on to AnaheimDucks.com and go to /Honda Odyssey. You must be 18 years of age to participate. 2:36 to go. Second period. Third of 5 at home for the Ducks, who will host the Columbus Blue Jackets here on Monday. And then the Chicago Blackhawks next Wednesday to round out the homestand. Well, I thought that could have been an icing call there, but play goes on. Brendan Dillon's one-timer, that blocked in front. Spiza finds it, moves it ahead, and the Ducks hurry to center. Solani has it knocked off his stick and can't carry on with it. Vern Fiddler has the same fate as he reaches the Anaheim blue line. Lindholm first deflects the puck away from Whitney, and then he destroys Ryan Garbutt. Pretty good little sequence there for the 20-year-old Duck defenseman. Now it's Eric Cole, the former Clarkston Golden Knight, into the Anaheim zone off the shoulder of Hiller. Cole has it again from behind the net. And it's knocked away by Perreault. Nice play there, and he'll backhand it through the middle of the ice. It's a foot race now, and Ellis comes out. He'll happily play it right back through the middle. This is icing against the Dallas netminder.
A smart play by Dan Ellis, though. I mean, he almost caught the Ducks on a change. Second period, you catch those defensemen sometime going over to the bench. If you're the goaltender, you get your head up. And quite often, they're not expecting you to shoot the puck the length of the ice. Worth the effort.
Native of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Dan Ellis played his college hockey at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. A program that has moved up in stature over the years, but for years had not produced too many NHL players. Pucking behind Ellis off the face-off. And Perry wrestles it free for Bolesky. Bolesky trying to give it back to Corey Perry, but Trevor Daley denies it and then moves the puck along. Getzlaf all over Cole into the line. Bushman will hold it in. Pass back to the captain is in his skates, and all he can do is deflect it back out center ice. Ducks get onside as Perry comes across the blue line, and then a little miscommunication in the neutral zone, and the pass left errant for Cole. Cole in on a forecheck, and he gets help from Eakin. In front for Peverly, and Fowler recovers to intercept. And then he throws it into the Dallas bench. Under a minute to go in a second period. It has been at times wide open and at times haphazard.
You're right, and you know, a lot of it though is the pressure. I mean, no one's really given a lot of time, either club right now, to handle the puck and make plays. You know, both teams are doing a real good job of making life pretty miserable. And it's amazing when you sense that pressure coming, how you just rush things a little bit more, and it really, really has an impact on how many passes are actually completed.
Dallas leads it 1-0. Jordy Ben denied as he tries to move the puck up the far boards. Pressure coming in the form of Daniel Winnick. Lindholm sends it back in as the Ducks touch up and get onside. And now Brendan Dillon looks up at the clock and sees 25 seconds left as he throws it off the glass and out. For Jordy Ben, and across it comes off the post from brother Jamie.
Well, this is a break for the Ducks. Dallas's best player with a point-blank opportunity. Their captain, Jamie Benn, is going to rip this. Boy, what a nice pass by Seguin. You see how quickly he manipulated that puck, put it into good passing position. Crisp pass. Jonas Hiller living right, and that comes with 15.5 seconds remaining in the period. And boy, what a big goal that would have been for the Stars heading back into the locker room.
Well, remember the save Hiller made, Brian, in the first period with roughly 1 second left? I mean, the Stars are inches away from being on top 3-0 right now. David Steckel unable to win the draw. Fiddler got it back. Daly to Gonchar, and a save by Hiller. Fiddler digs along the end boards. 5 seconds in the period as Garbutt swallowed up by Spiza. The puck tipped out center ice by Perry, and then Garbutt trips up Spiza when he gets back up. And the linesman trying to intervene, and Roussel comes over and gets a piece of Corey Perry.
You know, this is frustration on the part of Corey Perry, John, and
well, and there was no penalty coming up here. I think the Ducks thought that perhaps a little retribution penalty there as Garbutt tripped up Spiza, who was trying to skate away in the latter stages, last seconds of the period. And then when nothing is called, of course, everybody comes in. The period is complete.
Corey Perry doesn't want to take himself off the ice. I mean, if Roussel accomplishes that and there are coincidental minor penalties called, that's a win for Dallas. They need this guy on the ice. They need him to get a big goal. This is the player that leads all players in the NHL in the last 3 seasons in game-winning goals. And in a 1-0 game, Bruce Boudreau knows he's going to need a great effort from Perry in the third period.
Well, the second period produces the only goal of the game, and now as we look up at the scoreboard, we're going to get a few penalties at the end of the period. We'll straighten that out when we come back. It's a 1-goal game after 40 minutes of play. Trevor Daly of the Dallas Stars with the game's only goal. All rights to this broadcast are reserved in any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Anaheim Ducks is expressly prohibited. The Dallas Stars with a 1-0 lead after 2 periods of play as we are set to begin the third period at Honda Center. Before we do that, though, time for Who Got It Done, brought to you by YP.com, the new way to do.
Bruce Boudreau, the thing that he knows, 18 comeback wins this season. He's got a resilient bunch. And it'll be interesting to see how the Ducks start this period. Remember, they will start the 4-on-4 situation as both Spiza and Roussel were given minor penalties at the end of the second period. So 4-on-4 hockey upcoming.
The Ducks have been held to 14 shots on goal after 2 periods of play. Their season low, 20 in a game here at Honda Center on January the 7th. A win against the Boston Bruins. The Stars have struggled in 4-on-4 situations this season. They are -4. Good deal of that coming from their overtime record, which is just 1-5 in games decided in the extra 5 minutes, which of course is primarily 4-on-4 hockey.
So the Stars start with their 2 big offensive weapons in Seguin and Benn. And Bruce Boudreau responds with more of a defensive alignment here with Koivu and Anthony Cogliano. So you know who's coming over the boards next if the Ducks get through the first 45 seconds of this 4-on-4. It'll be Getzlaf, Perry, and Sewell.
Seguin sprints into the Anaheim zone, works it around the wall, and Jordy Ben unable to seal it off. Fowler forced behind the net. Pressure for Lovejoy, who uses the boards. And Cogliano at the stripe moves it into the middle. Joined on the rush by Fowler. He didn't see him coming. Instead, he hands it back to Cogliano off the wing. Ellis steers it behind the net. Koivu up the boards, forced out of the zone. Cogliano touches up. He gives it back to him in the middle of the ice. Ducks changing. Cogliano on his own. Lovejoy stays out with him, takes the one-timer. Big rebound off of Ellis, who kicks it all the way to Jordy Ben.
Getzlaf over the boards, and here comes Corey Perry. So the Ducks neutralize Ben and Seguin on the first half of the 4-on-4, and now it's time to see if Anaheim can get possession of the puck and create something.
Cody Eakin up the right side for the Stars.
That's a
He
good
puts
move.
it around Lindholm, but then can't get his stick back, and it's kicked away by Boschman. Getzlaf with a strike ahead for Perry, but it's tipped away at the line, and that draws him offside.
I'm always interested to who Bruce Boudreau elects to put as the defensive combination with Getzlaf and Perry in the 4-on-4. So Francois Beauchemin, who's skating so much better, is certainly out there on the ice, but so is the youngster Hampus Lindholm. So he's got two guys that he feels can join the rush and help create offensively. It's interesting how it shifts, the balance of power, if you will, and which team is the one that's really pushing the envelope offensively.
Francois Beauchemin, you mentioned having such a strong game against Philly here the other night, was +3 in that game, picked up an assist. He also regained the team lead in blocked shots this season when he had that stretch of games where he missed 10 straight. He was unseated by then Cam Fowler and subsequently Ben Lovejoy in that particular department. I think that's a telltale sign to me of when Francois is back to playing the way we're accustomed to seeing him play, blocking a lot of shots, getting a lot of ice time. He played over 25 minutes in that win against Philadelphia as well. Now he chops it up the wall to Perry, who sends it right back to him. 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4. He thinks better of starting out with it. Now he gives it to Perry, who skates through.
And the 4 Dallas players lined up at the blue line.
Perry able to chip it around Goligoski, but Ellis comes out to knife it away behind the net. Getzlaf reaches, gets to it. Comes in front looking for Perry. And it goes off of Beauchemin behind the net. He's able to chop it free for Corey Perry. Brings it back to the front of the net. He does a great job to fight off the hit from Daly. Turns with a puck another time as he takes it behind the goal. The penalties are over now, 5-on-5. Lindholm, middle of the ice, coughs it up. And now he has to retreat defensively and try to stay inside. Hiller comes out to help him as he was able to keep Roussel at bay. Seguin gets back onside, knocked off his stick by Beauchemin, and then tipped away by Silverberg. Solani unable to come up with it. Seguin touches it into the Anaheim zone. Roussel hit there. And up the board, Solani, contested by Connaughton. Around the boards for Sergei Gonchar. Into the middle, Seguin has it knocked off his stick. Hands it off to Ben on the backhand, and a big rebound off of Hiller collected by Lindholm. Hard around the boards, Gonchar pinched, so no icing as he tied up the stick of Silverberg, and racing in to win the puck is Perreault.
Nice play.
And Connaughton lays on top of him down low as he's joined by Jackman. And Perreault delivers a hit on Gonchar as he clears the zone. Ducks get onside. Back in comes Jackman off the wing. Glove save for Dan Ellis.
What I like about Tim Jackman, if I'm a player that's on his line, when he gets the puck in the neutral zone, it's going on net. He doesn't mess around. He's not thinking about making any fancy plays. I'm just going to shoot it and force the goaltender to not only stop a shot, but do something with the rebound. That one Dan Ellis is able to snare. But that consistency allows his line mates to get a great read off of him.
Tonight, Jackman's 19th game in a Ducks sweater since coming over in a mid-season deal from Calgary. And Anaheim deemed offside here. Boy, I don't know. I thought Patrick Maroon got back, but it doesn't much matter what I think, as Pierre Racicot says it was offside, so it was. Learned that one from my parents. doesn't matter what I feel. Steckel wins the draw. And the Ducks control. Spiza hard around into the zone. Off of Maroon, and Whitney recovers it. Sean Horkoff hurries the other way across the line as he hands it off, and Peverly hit the post. Chason has his shot blocked by Spiza, who gets it out of his equipment. I beg your pardon, it was Alex Chason, not Rich Peverly, who put that last one off the plumbing.
Yeah, sneaky little snapshot. He used the defender as a screen, and he had hit Jonas Hiller beaten.
Puck played by a high stick back in the Dallas zone. And the Ducks continue to stay within a goal through good fortune. This time, once again.
Here's a quick little snapshot. Chason, boy, he had a lot of zip on that puck. And it's about a foot off the ice. That's a perfect height to shoot the puck against most goaltenders. Just above the height of the pad makes it more difficult for them to reach it with the catching glove.
Ellis unable to cover, and now we got a whistle and a penalty coming up. I think we're going to get a hooking call against Cody Eakin.
Well, the scoring chance, a result of Dan Ellis's inability to control that wrist shot from the point. Fowler just kind of throws it towards the net. It hits him in the logo, but it bounces away from him. And there you see Eakin on the wrong side of Koivu, and that stick firmly implanted in the midsection of Koivu. So that's why Eakin is going to go to the box. You see what Koivu did there? He got the shoulders inside of Eakin. All about positioning sometimes.
Second power play opportunity of the night for the Ducks. And Perreault takes the draw, goes right to Ellis, who will hold on to it.
So, John, this is what we were talking about with the Ducks with no Nick Bonino. What is Boudreau going to do on the power play? It's Matthew Perreault who assumes the role normally held by Bonino on this top power play unit. He's a big, a lot of that role is about winning draws. He wins that one against Fiddler, who had been dynamic in this game in the faceoff circle.
And the open man is Fowler, now to Perreault. Into the middle, it comes back through to Fowler, gets it to the net, tipped, and it came right to Perreault, just knifed away. Good defensive recovery there by Goligoski. Perry keeps it alive, back for Getzlaf, who takes it off the skate. Perreault into the middle, gets the pass, can't pull the trigger, and the Stars able to clear. Well, again, Trevor Daley doing some yeoman's work down there on the penalty kill.
He has been very good in this game. Of course, he's got the only goal, but defensively he's been strong.
Nice job as Getzlaf sneaks it ahead to Perreault, who backhands it off the end boards. Maroon moves it back to the line. Pass through the slot to no one in particular by Perry, missing the mark, so the Stars will do the honors. A minute gone in the penalty to Eakin. 14:45 to go, third period, and the Ducks lose the puck. Here's Jamie Benn. Backhands it wide as he went around a number of stick checks. Fowler trying to recover the puck in the corner. Solani gets a piece of it and now lays it back. Plenty of time, 45 seconds left in the Anaheim man advantage. Getzlaf, ahead on right wing. Solani gains the line, throws it to the net off the stick of Ellis. And Silverberg racing in after it, couldn't kick it up to his stick. And now it's a foot race. Garbutt gets back after it, and Lindholm recovers to tip it to the corner. Well, that looked a lot like the goal Garbutt scored in Dallas against the Ducks. You think you're even with him at center ice, you're probably not. Ryan Garbutt's got some wheels. Pileski chips it to the corner. Silverberg to the line, misses the intended target, Lindholm. And Hiller way out with only 10 seconds left in the power play.
Yeah, and this is a penalty-killing unit. It's a hard-working group. And they have really prevented the Ducks' power play from getting set up and established. And so the power play goes for naught. The opportunity goes by the boards for Anaheim as they're trying to find some kind of chemistry tonight. Here is the best scoring chance that the Ducks had on that last power play. Cam Fowler's just going to throw it into the front of the net. The redirect by Pat Maroon and an alert defensive play by Goligoski. I've been impressed, John, with the alertness of Trevor Daley, Alex Goligoski in this game. They have defended exceptionally well.
Stars give up over 31 shots a game. That is 8th most in the league this season. Yet they have kept the Ducks in check, just 19 shots on goal through the first 46-plus minutes of this game for Anaheim. And Nichushkin has it poked off his stick by Ben Lovejoy, and then following up, it's Jamie Benn who gets it deep. Hiller looks over his shoulder as from one knee he plays it for Fowler. Cam Fowler, leading scoring defenseman for the Ducks this season. To Lovejoy, he'll get center red. His pass into the middle for Winnick. Boy, a very late whistle. He's deemed offside.
The Stars really clogging up the neutral zone, standing up at their blue line. You watch when Anaheim does get the puck right now. They flood that neutral zone. They're back checking. Tracking is what coaches refer to it as, has been exceptional from Dallas. And it's all about effort. It's all about just putting your head down, skating in straight lines, and getting back into position as quickly as you can.
Face-off win for Getzlaf. And Spiza wires it around. Getzlaf out of the corner, gives it in, cutting across is Perry, drops it back. Spiza's shot doesn't get through. Battling for it is Silverberg. He couldn't get it to the net, but keeps it alive. Perry into the middle. Beauchemin tries to give it back to him. A diving effort as he swats it back below the goal line. Up the wall, Goligoski trying to clear. Perry gets it back. Airborne off the glove of Getzlaf. Silverberg recovers. The good puck retrievals on this shift for Anaheim. Getzlaf wheels it in, and it's blockered away by Ellis. Silverberg off the boards, wins it again for Getzlaf, and now it's cleared past Spiza. Beauchemin will hinge over to get it.
Best shift in a while for the Ducks, and now it's Silverberg, the winger, with the Getzlaf-Perry combination.
Nice tip pass to Perreault, brings it in and misses on the backhand. Whitney chops it up the wall and out, and Horkoff denied as he tried to put it through neutral ice. Wiped right back in on the diagonal dump by Maroon. Ellis out to play it. Perreault trying to dig it off the wall, and it will come out of the zone as Maroon retreats with it into neutral ice. Lindholm up the middle, and Perreault tips it into the Dallas zone. Chasing hit there by Perreault. He's got it below the goal line. Finds an open Lovejoy stick save. Ellis. Lindholm on his horse gets to it, throws it right through the crease. Lindholm again activates to keep it alive. He puts it on net from a bad angle off the stick of Ellis and out of play.
Ducks with more pressure, and you can see the sense of urgency. That was Corey Perry with the strip in the corner. He walks right out. Well played by the goaltender. And then Anaheim unable to get the point shot through. That was Lucas Spiza that came down from the blue line. But watch Ellis. He just kind of slides, keeps the paddle all the way down, prevents Corey Perry from wrapping that puck around him. Perry's had his chances in this game. Just hasn't been able to finish.
Discussion going on between the officials back in the Dallas zone. Delays the face-off a little bit, and now Kelly Sutherland over to report something to Bruce Boudreau.
Not sure why that puck came out, why the face-off was drawn outside the blue line. It looked to me like it went off the goaltender's stick and over the glass, perhaps. The Duck defenders encroached after the whistle blew, and down below the top of the circle, something they're not allowed to do.
Big hit by Valesky dislodges the puck from Jordy Benn to the line. Beauchemin's drive is blocked out of the zone, and here come the Stars with numbers. Roussel has Garbett with him. Can't get it over to him, and a good recovery by Beauchemin, who went to the passing lane, and Fowler took Roussel. They've played primarily for the last 4 minutes or so in the Dallas zone. And a nice little pass there by Dillon as he finds Sagan, and back come the Stars. Ryan Garbett off the wing gets it to the net, and Hiller sticks it back where Lindholm bats it out of midair for Valesky. Lindholm ahead on the play, so Valesky just throws it in deep. Ducks go for a change. Goligoski watched from the other side of the net by Getzlaf. Lindholm steps up in the neutral zone, bodying Jamie Benn along the wall and denying the puck through the center ice area. Benn has it poked away by Getzlaf and gets a third attempt and throws it up with the high glass and in. 1-0 Dallas. 10 minutes to go, second period. Perry off the boards, and Silverberg just couldn't quite get it cleanly, but he gets it back. Jacob fires wide as he tried to go against the grain. Held in by Fowler, but then Cole chips it out. Cole goes and gets it. He's on his own 1-on-3, and on the back check, Fowler took it back. Lovejoy ahead for Maroon, who's forced back into his own zone. And Lovejoy, directing traffic, tells him to go back for Getzlaf. Middle of the ice, Maroon, and he storms into the Dallas zone, only to have it knocked off his stick. Goligoski crushed by Maroon as he put it off the glass and out. Offside are the Ducks as Solani receives that pass inside the stripe. Still a 1-0 game.
Anaheim making a little bit of a push here, trailing 1-0 in the game. Shots on goal in this third period, 8-2 in favor of the Ducks. A couple good quality scoring chances amongst those 8 shots that they have delivered against Dan Ellis. It's all about speed. Speed away from the puck.
Stars coming off a game, an overtime loss at home against New Jersey on Thursday, in which they were held to a season-low 16 shots on goal. Probably wasn't too hard for Lindy Ruff to get his team's attention coming off of that one. A game in which they trailed 2-0 and actually scored in the final minute of regulation to force overtime. And who could blame Lindy Ruff if he has no problem saying good riddance to January? His team won only 4 of 15 games in the month. However, Brian, now that they're not in the Pacific Division, the Stars own the Pacific Division 10-2-2 against the newly formed Pacific Division is Dallas so far this season.
The only team I can think of not in the Pacific that has that kind of a record against what most people consider the top division in hockey.
Garbett in the corner, chips it ahead and gets it back from Roussel. Hiller thinks better of coming out to play it. Solani knocked down as he tries to curl off the boards, but Lindholm covers up. Fiddler unable to get inside on him, and a penalty coming up to the Stars here as Dillon will touch up.
This is going to be interesting, this power play alignment for Boudreau. The power play has not looked good. Looked a little bit out of sorts in this one. You see the reaction of Lindy Ruff after the penalty call was made. That was not the penalty, actually, as that one was Vern Fiddler leaning in. The penalty has actually been levied against Jordy Ben. So huge opportunity here for the Ducks. Here's the penalty against Ben as he just trips up Teemu Solani and cost him a couple of minutes.
Sellout crowd at Honda Center looking for something to cheer about as the Ducks go on the power play for the third time tonight. They're 0 for 2, down just a goal, 1-0. Perry knocked down but able to move the puck, and Getzlaf's shot blocked. Fowler will hold it in. In front, Koivu's pass off the stick of Perry, and it skips right to Getzlaf. Misses Perry with a hard pass, but Koivu gets it back.
Very stationary, John, the power play tonight. Not a lot of movement in it. The players with the puck have got to keep the feet moving to force defenders out of the passing and shooting lanes.
Perry takes the pass and pursues it deep in the Dallas zone. Goligoski able to move it, and the Stars will send it all the way back. Hiller settles it. Pressure from Roussel forces him to try to do something with it, and he's able to play it off the boards to Getzlaf. A minute gone in the penalty to Jordy Ben, and Getzlaf with a strike for Koivu. Trevor Daley contests him. He'll swing it around the boards. Perry on the half wall. Down low, Bolesky angles it off the wall. Lindholm takes it off the skate. Getzlaf at the line. Looks, fires. And that hit Koivu in front. Picked up by Bolesky. Down low for Koivu. Getzlaf's stick explodes on the attempted one-timer, and then Perry loses the puck. Trevor Daley will waste as much time as possible before icing it, and the Ducks get changes for the final 20 seconds of the power play.
You know, I like the strategy, which is to just shoot from the point and try and get pucks through to the net, because nothing seems to be happening on the execution side in terms of making consecutive passes. So get it back to the blue line, blast away.
Maroon steps from below the goal line, loses the handle. Lindholm's shot off a Dallas defender. The penalty to Ben is over. He's out of the box. The Stars full strength. And they'll try to send it to Ben, and now they break a stick. Lindholm angles it down low. Solani looking for Perreault in the slot, tipped away. And Ben gets back, can't clear. Lindholm did a good job to keep it in. Solani, he's knocked down again by Dillon. And covering up is Beauchemin, who keeps it in. Fans wanted another penalty call. They don't get it. Maroon kicks it along the end boards. Curls back. Solani goes to the front of the blue paint. Maroon's pass deflects, and this time Lindholm unable to hold the zone. Forced to retreat through neutral ice. Ducks get onside. Perreault sends it ahead. Bumped at the line was Beauchemin, who plays it off the glass back to Perreault. And he's spun off the puck by Cole, who angles it out. 1-0 Stars, under 6 to go in the game. The only goal came in the second period. Trevor Daley converting a rebound at 5:03. Eakin and Peverley drew the assists. Here is Cody Eakin. Sends it across, and Hiller with a point-blank save on Cole.
That's a big stop. Another one by Jonas Hiller, he's made about 5 or 6 of them, John, when the game was 1-0 to keep the Ducks in this one. But I've really been impressed with the way that Dallas has defended in this game.
Puck off the stick of Winnick deep into the Dallas zone. Cogliano gets to it first, and he misses Steckel behind the net. Winnick goes after it. Taps it behind the net, and Gonchar swings it around. Spiza able to hold the zone. Kevin Connaughton has it for Dallas from behind his own net, able to get it up the boards and out with help from Jamie Benn. Benn waits until he's contested and then rolls it into the backhand as the game clock winds to under 5 minutes to go. Spiza out of the corner. A cross intended for Perry, but Getzlaf got in the way of it, and then he rocked Roussel. Lucas Spiza starts out once more. Dusts it off through the middle of the ice. Getzlaf on the wing for Perry. Good speed, and his shot deflected off the stick of Goligoski, and goes out of play. Buckle your seatbelts. 4.5 to play. This game, and the only goal of the hockey game is our subject.
Jonas Hiller makes the big stop against Eakin, but no one there to bail him out on the rebound. It was the defender, Trevor Daley, that had raced the length of the ice to snap that puck home. Daley's been very good in this game. The Stars have been great. It'll be interesting to see who Lindy Ruff uses in the faceoff circle. This is going to be Eakin. Bert Fiddler, by the way, 7-0. Perfect. 7 for 7 in the faceoff circle in the defensive zone tonight.
Getzlaf wins the draw. Perry to the front of the net. He gets decked. Beauchemin behind the goal gets it back for Getzlaf, who's covering his point. Line fires, deflected on the way, and Perry had a stab at the rebound. Getzlaf pulls up at the blue line. His cross-ice pass off a skate. And Francois Beauchemin back to collect it for Anaheim. 4 minutes to go. Each team with 24 shots on goal. The Stars have the only goal. Silverberg collects a loose puck at the line for Perry. Drops it off. Getzlaf back to Perry. Turnaround shot on a stick, saved by Ellis. Perry knew he was falling. Getzlaf pulls it off the boards, finds Silverberg. For Beauchemin off his backhand to the corner.
Great pressure by the Ducks. Their defense wandering down deep into the offensive zone.
I haven't seen much of Valeri Nichushkin in this third period, but Lindy Ruff puts him out now. Cogliano handles a rolling puck and goes rink wide off the boards. Bolesky has a step. Can't get into the middle, and Dillon with a diving effort gets a piece. Bolesky again out of the corner looking for Cogliano. Now lays it to the line. Lindholm throws it to the net. Blocked in front by Sagan, who skates it out of harm's way. And if he hurries, 2-on-1, perhaps with Benn. Jamie Benn cuts across the slot. Gets it to the net. Kick saved by Hiller. And Fowler moves it to the corner.
Again, it's Ben. I mean, he really is amazing the way he gets that puck. With people standing right in front of him and guys hacking away at his hands. He's very strong on the puck. Gets shots through again.
Cogliano speeds in and then ridden off the puck by Goligoski. Charging in is Bolesky, and up the wall to hold it in is Lovejoy. Slides it across. Open is Fowler. Lets it go. Blocked, and Cogliano can't get to it. Garbett feeds it back for Roussel. Fowler with a great recovery, got to it in the corner, but chopped it up the boards, only to have Fiddler force it back. 2.5 to play. Stars lead 1-0. Solani trying to dig it away from Fiddler, but he gets it behind the net. Antoine Roussel throws it back to the net. Pad saved by Hiller through traffic. Swiped away for Solani. Gets center red and gets it in as Maroon. Full speed in after. Gets inside on Jordy Ben. Perreault comes over. It's knifed away. Silverberg can't get to it in the corner. Excuse me, it's Beauchemin who steps up there. And now the battle at the point ensues. Over comes Spiza to hold it in. Solani wires it around. Only man there is Peverly, and he's able to clear.
Dallas doing a great job of keeping the puck along the boards, keeping it moving, and wasting precious seconds off the clock.
Stars again clear. And it's pitched back into the zone, but the Ducks were offside, so plenty of time and space for Goligoski. 90 seconds left in the game, and he stretches it ahead for Eric Cole. The big man has great speed and now takes it in behind the Anaheim goal. Dislodged for a moment, but the Stars recover. Beauchemin now leaves it for Fowler. We'll keep an eye on Hiller. Just 1:15 to go in the game. Getzlaf gets the lead pass, gets center red, dumps it over top of the goal. Hiller almost all the way to the bench. I don't know what he was waiting for. He was 3/4 of the way there. Now he goes to the bench, and the extra man on for Anaheim. Silverberg battling Sagan behind the net. Beauchemin digging at it, so is Perry. Up the wall it comes. Fowler is the open man near side. Under a minute to play. Gives it back to Koivu. Now to Fowler. On his backhand, however, can't pull the trigger. Gets it to the middle. Getzlaf getting it to the net. Rebound, Perry! Oh, you don't know how he lost the handle. Getzlaf has it again. That's blocked. And an empty net in front of Alex Chiasson, and he misses it. This should be icing. I don't know, I didn't think he got center red. Now Sagan gets it back. The net is still empty. And Fowler got a stick on it, but it ends up in the net anyway.
But Corey Perry has just been worked over in this third period tonight. But he had the tying goal on his stick and could not finish. Here's the one that should have been a cross-checking penalty against Goligoski. That was about 4 minutes ago. And then later on, with time winding down, I'll tell you what, Corey Perry right here, watch this. Rebound's going to come to Perry. Puck is rolling. It just won't settle down for him. I think the goaltender Ellis gets across and makes an unbelievable stop with the left pad. You'll see it right here. Oh, no, you know what? It's off the side of the net. Credit Ellis for getting across. Jamie Benn, who's had a strong night tonight, and mops up with the empty netter tonight for the Stars. But it's been a while, John, since the Ducks have been shut out. The story of this season for Anaheim has been their ability to score goals, and the Stars played one heck of a road game tonight.
Anaheim has not been shut out this season. They are 15 seconds away from that very fate, however, as Hiller back in the net now. The last time Anaheim was whitewashed, March the 27th of last season, 2013, a game that was played in San Jose. That was 72 games ago, but the Stars do the trick tonight, and the former Duck Dan Ellis does the honors. It is a 26-save performance for Ellis, and the Stars win it tonight over the Ducks by a final count of 2-0. Yeoman's work by Jonas Hiller, but it's not enough. The homestand continues on Monday when the Ducks host Columbus. Ducks Live at 6:30. We hope you can join us for that. Stay with us. Ducks Live is next.